welcome to the podcast where good trivia gets rewarded and bad lies are punished. This is What's the Fact?
No, the bad lies will never be caught. They've got to be caught first to be punished. Mind you, he's getting better. Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name's Ryan Whittal. This is Warren Robertson with the weird psychic ability of sniffing out lies. He's really getting good. You could be a detective.
You know what was so weird about you? When you first started saying, oh, no, the lies will never be discovered. It's like, oh, Ryan. Psh. And now I can't help but laugh. It's so stupid. Of course the lies will be discovered. They're all going to be discovered. Every single one.
One of our frequent listeners, I won't say her name because I say her name every time, but we do
It
work
sounds like
together.
you're in love with her a little bit.
Mishi, you'd love her as well. Everyone who meets her loves her. But she said on the multiple choice, is like, there's a thing you do with your voice, and it's always that one. That's the odd one out.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, shucks.
You must send. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, Michelle. Good. Right. So the topic this week is weird nature.
Weird nature.
And to be honest, nature is like a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
It's all around us.
It is wonderfully weird.
Yeah.
And it came from Dietz again. Weird nature.
Yeah, but I did.
Does he have a weird nature? Do you think?
I mean,
where's that bloody painting? Did Byron come and take it?
Dietz, did Byron come and take the painting?
He did because he's
been threatening to.
It's because ever since Dietz has been looking at property in Brackenfell, I think he's bumped into Byron.
I think it's since we crossed the
Hello,
the
darling.
100 subscribers on YouTube mark. Thank you all of you, by the way.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, since we crossed that, he now thinks we've got cash. So now he's coming to take our Mona Lisa.
We must do a trade exchange and have a special episode on repossessions, and maybe
maybe
invite him as a guest. And
maybe
in
he'll
lieu
give us
of
another
payments.
month. Yeah, give us another month of not paying to Standard Bank the $670 million we owe them every month. Good, but yeah, weird nature. But I'll be honest, I did a lot of more sort of weird animals.
Yeah, me too. I flippin' love
animals.
animals.
I am going with strange facts about animals rather than nature as such. There is one non-animalian question at least.
From not the kingdom of Animalia.
No,
because it's called the kingdom of Animalia. I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The taxonomy, the nomenclature, to borrow borrow from the dude in Big Lebowski.
I see. Good. No, it's not that. But all right, do we want to start? I think it's your turn.
Me,
I think it's your turn to start.
Yes,
let's kick this thing off. Let's get in with the weird animals.
This is lovely. This is a beautiful one. All right, Tasmania.
Uh-huh.
Have you traveled to the
to Oz?
To the Australasian regions?
Most Australians won't go to Tasmania. Apparently, I knew somebody from Tasmania in London. She says they're all incredibly inbred down there.
Really?
Yeah. Tasmania is their version of virgin. There's no virgins in Tasmania.
No.
It's their version of Nigel.
Shucks, if Nigel was like an island.
Like Delmas. Yeah, if Delmas was an island, yeah.
Nowhere to run, hey? That's where that movie came from.
Yeah, the people have extra fingers there.
Or
as they say, we have too few fingers.
Well, could that be part of what this fact's about?
Oh,
so
really?
Tasmania, yes, it's an island off the coast of Australia. Hobart, they've played a few test matches there.
All
Tasmania has a carnivorous, dog-like creature.
The devil.
That is a marsupial.
Is it the devil?
Have you seen one?
The Tasmanian devil. Well, for a long time, I think they thought they were extinct, and then they sort of found out that the Tasmanian devil is still alive, but they've all got mange. They've all got incredible illnesses because they're quite inbred and sort of, I think, genetically weak, much like Tasmanians themselves.
So yeah, well, the question to you that I pose to you is it a dog-like creature, the Tasmanian devil?
Yeah, I think
and
it's like a long weaselly sort of
Is it
creature,
a marsupial?
I don't know if it's a marsupial, but I think it's a long weaselly sort of dog-like creature, isn't it? I mean, if I picture it, sort of stripy. And certainly it's not that spinny thing from the cartoons.
That was
it's
cute.
Not that guy.
Yeah. He was in the Tiny Toons, or was it?
Yeah.
There was always a girl.
Was a girl
that was driving him crazy.
Probably his sister.
No, it was Human Girl.
Oh, a good human girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these cartoons are a little bit questionable. I don't know. No, I think it's a dog-like creature. I don't think it's a marsupial.
You don't think the Tasmanian devil is
a marsupial?
Okay, but I wasn't necessarily. I said, here's my fact: Tasmania has a carnivorous dog-like creature
so you weren't
that is a
necessarily
marsupial.
talking about the Tasmanian devil.
You jumped
at all.
to the Tasmanian devil.
You had
the devil on your mind.
That'll teach me. That'll teach me. All right, I didn't. Fine. It's got one.
All right. Well. You were so close.
Oh, really?
But I did start with a sneaky lie. Because I am not saying that the Tasmanian devil is a dog-like creature. Because it's more bear. It's like a little bear. It's not like a dog. I'm talking like a real dog. Like, looks almost like a dingo. Right? Tasmania, it's not that it has, but it had. A carnivorous dog-like creature that was a marsupial.
And it's dead.
It's called a thylacine.
Oh, yeah.
Thylacine. And it became extinct only in about 1925. Not only are there photographs of them, but there's video footage from 1910 on the internet of these things. They really do look like sort of a weird greyhound.
I think it's important that you say they really did look like. They really did. They don't exist anymore.
Shame.
Australians successfully genocided them.
So that like you
oh no.
You sidetracked me. Because the interesting thing about marsupials is they mostly are like little wombatty, like rodent-y type things. But this is the first time I saw like a carnivore type, but like a, well, I suppose a Tasmanian devil is one, although these things are usually insectivorous. But this is like a dog that's a marsupial. Like a kangaroo is its own weird thing, but this is a dog.
I mean, a kangaroo is its own weird thing. You know that they've got footage of kangaroos eating carrion.
Good Lord!
There's a video on YouTube somewhere.
My word!
Where they've got of a kangaroo eating a seabird.
Good grief!
Yeah.
Weird thing.
So they are rather strange animals.
The whole marsupial concept is really odd. It's born underdeveloped and then it lives in a pouch. So it's like born when it shouldn't have been.
But that's like humans.
It's like a prem tank.
But humans are born premature. Yeah. So you know how most mammals can stand after they're born. Humans should be able to do that. But because of the narrowing of women's hips as we stood up,
right,
we were forced to start giving birth earlier and earlier and earlier. So now we give birth to our babies actually undeveloped, which is why the first 3 months of a baby's life is known as the fourth. What's it called?
Trimester.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's So that's what we said. So we're actually, the babies are all human babies are technically prem.
I find it fascinating. And of existing marsupials, there's about 350 in the world. 70% are from Australia and a little bit of Southeast Asia, a little bit Indonesia. The rest, about 30% in South America, a few in Central America, and one possum in North America, the Virginia opossum.
You did your serious. You've got like marsupial knowledge, is what you brought to the podcast today. Like
they are weird.
Marsupial knowledge.
Weird.
They are, but they're delightfully weird.
Lovely.
They're delightfully weird. Yeah.
There's all wombats and all sorts of funny words, very Australian wombery ding-a-dong thing-a-ding-ding words.
Yeah, but everything in Australia is like that, right? Like everything. It's like they've got 14 letters in their alphabet, and most of them are O's and U's. I don't know how they name anything there. It's bizarre. Good. All right. Let's start with little funny creatures like that. Then I'll say my fact is lemurs, elephants, hippos, and rabbits are all coprophagous, which is to say they eat their own feces. So you want to talk about insectivores? I want to talk about coprivores. Yeah, they're all coprophagous. Lemurs, elephants, hippos, and rabbits.
Wow. Okay, the first thing is grass-based. I think a rabbit in the wild is it grass. So okay.
I don't know if you've ever taken a shit after a braai. You know why they didn't. The carnivores don't eat their own feces.
Like if they are grass-based grazers, then it's important that their wee and poo is very important for the regrowth and the vegetation and all that stuff.
So you think they eat their own poo to stop that from happening?
Uh,
They're like, no,
or
you're having none of this good nutrients.
They might not know the difference.
Oh, you think they're a bit stupid?
It's like, stop it, John! Don't shit where you eat. Leave him. It's fine.
But even elephants,
shit where you eat. Because but he might eat a shit. That's okay. It might be that they might do it
Honestly,
incidentally.
That sounds like your childhood thing, and I don't know why you're bringing this up. It's weird. Stop shitting at the dinner table, Ryan.
Leave him. You're being too. You're smothering him too much. He needs to learn to shit in the loo. Leave him. Just leave him. Leave it. You can finish your poo at the table. No, sis. Leave him.
I should have known this would go weird like this. I really should have. But yeah, lemurs, elephants, hippos, rabbits.
I'm gonna go with the weird that they eat their poo, not on purpose. It's incidental because they shit where they eat. I'm going to say the fact is true.
I mean, the fact is true. It is true, yeah. I mean, for things like lemurs and rabbits, it's because they don't get enough nutrition out of the first passing. Because they do a lot of their digesting in their stomach and the initial parts of their intestine. But most of the bacteria is only in the later part of their intestines.
Oh.
So then this is rabbits. So then they eat the feces because now they've got the bacteria has effectively fermented the food, and then they eat it, and it's actually healthy for them. And lemurs, there's not enough food for them in some cases. So what they do is some of them eat their feces to get as much nutrition as possible out of the things that they have eaten. So they give it another pass. But with the one I thought we'd get you was the elephants and the hippos, though, because with them,
hippo. Well, it is a grazer, hey?
Yeah, but with them, it's only the babies that do it, and they do it quite early in their life, just as they're transitioning from milk to solids. And it's been shown that what that does is it effectively transfers bacteria. They eat the feces of the other elephants and the other hippos, and it transfers the healthy bacteria from those adult elephants to the babies. And
hippos and elephants doing what you're describing now.
Yeah.
The babies.
Oh. Yeah. So actually, like, humans have only recently discovered the fecal transplant, which is where we take, if you've got a lot of stomach problems or ulcers or things, we take feces from a healthy person's butt, we put it in your butt, and then that gives you all the bacteria you need, Yeah. I mean, maybe bacteria jollies, whatever, like that gives you those things. So clearly it seems elephants and hippos have known of this thing subconsciously for much longer than we have. So there you are. It's absolutely true.
I mean,
freaks, cool. Coprophagous freaks.
I mean, this story of gut health is becoming quite a wellness thing, and things like kombucha. To borrow from Namaste Bay, who's making his.
But it's not your mom's feces, Filthy. 2 elephants, 1 cup.
Oh my word!
This is the internet, Ryan. We have to pander to the things they like here.
I've just heard it's terrible, but I haven't actually. So
don't look it up. If you've never seen that, don't look it up.
Yeah,
don't look it up. And also, never look up Tub Girl.
Golly.
And these are the old school. This is how you know
we're
we're
over
over 40.
nature.
This is how we know. Yeah, that's weird nature. Yeah. All right, good.
I still want to talk a little bit about the
about poo eating. Of course you do, Ryan. You're weird. Of course you want to keep talking about the poo eating.
No, but the balanced diet of this leads into my next fact, isn't that lovely?
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, there's the balanced. Oh, wonderfully. I wonder I should do my little vignettes before or after my fact. I think we'll leave it for after, but just remember it. Okay. Remind me.
I'll try and remind you of your vignette.
Yeah. This is a lovely fact. It's got to do, I guess, with what one eats. But I want to talk about a lion and a story of a lion. In 2002, a lion was brought to Johannesburg to the Lion and Rhino Park. Okay. Did you ever go there?
I did, but I only went there. I mean, I've got a friend who works for the EWT, and they hate these sorts of parks that kind of pander to the tourists, obviously, and the stroking of the cubs and all that sort of stuff. And I felt very guilty about it. But I did take my little one because, he was 3. and the 3-year-old loves a lion.
Yeah, I didn't go to the Joburg one, but I have been to the one. It's at Sundowner Ranch, about 10 k's from Sun City. Also, you play with the cubs. I mean, I hear.
Yeah, look, we didn't do the cub thing. I'm gonna say.
Okay, fine. I hear it's. I'm open to hearing that it's not a good thing, and that's fine. But gosh, it was a beautiful experience. But
yeah, it's not a good thing because they grow them up and then they sell them effectively for canned lion hunting.
Okay.
This is the story.
All right.
Please don't sue us. We already owe Baron 660 million rand a month. We don't have any money. We don't even have a Kickstarter or a Patreon account. You see, we've heard of these things.
So you know which lion park I'm talking about? 2002. That one, they received a new inmate, if you like. It was from Naples, a lion from Napoli. Her nickname was the Spaghetti Lioness. She came from Napoli. She was brought there by a resident of Naples.
She was brought here to South Africa because they were confiscating her from her for abusing this thing, right?
Antonio Vincenzo. He traveled with her, and he stayed with her for a few weeks in Joburg at the thing. And her nickname was the Spaghetti Lioness, even in Napoli and in South Africa. Spaghetti Lioness, because her favorite thing to eat was spaghetti and meatballs.
Absolute bullshit. Like, so there's a video that I saw recently where this woman said that her dog was vegan, and she was like, no, my dog's vegan. He prefers vegan food to all other kinds of food. And then they sort of surprised her. She's on this talk show in the morning show. And they bring out 2 bowls, and they put the 2 bowls down on the floor, and the one's his vegan food, and others is meat. And they explain, well, we're going to let him choose which one of these he wants to eat. And she's like, oh, well, he's going to eat the vegan food because he's. And then as soon as she lets him go, she's still talking because he loves his vegan food, and he goes straight for the meat and he eats all the meat. And she's like, I don't know what's going on. He's very naughty now. He's being very naughty. And it's just like, oh, well, he was never a vegan. You just, dogs sometimes can survive on eating strange things. Cats can as well. Let's be honest. They can eat these strange stuff. And I suppose when it's the meatball that was really probably sustaining this lion, but he knew he had to eat his spaghettis just because otherwise he wasn't getting his meatballs. But honestly, they should have fed Antonio's meatballs to the lion.
What I can tell you without spoiling the true or falseness of the fact is that it was a lion in captivity. Was it at the zoo? Maybe the zoo in Naples. And their policy is if a lion's born, they give it away. I don't know.
Okay.
So he got it. And for the first year, he just...
but like in a raffle? Hang on,
so
who's this guy?
Antonio.
So they just give it away to some random. Yeah. You put your name in a hat, and then you get to take the lion home and feed him a spaghetti and meatball.
Oh shit, we got a lion. Oh, Antonio, you want a lion? See. and the lion lived with him, slept on his bed.
He was probably a coke addict. Hey, Antonio, you want a lion? Yeah, I love a lion. What the fuck is this?
Oh shucks. And Antonio would walk around his village in Napoli with a lion, no leash, nothing, for a year, because obviously as it grew, and everyone's there's Antonio, hey, the lion, it's a spaghetti lioness.
And then it ate a guy.
Well, no, it's just after a year he's got a different job and he couldn't have the lion with him anymore, so he went back to, I think, an enclosure, and he was like, he's not happy, but he visited every Sunday, where it would cry when he left. I don't know how it cried, but it cried. And then eventually, I think when it was 7, he's like, he made a few phone calls. The Joburg Lion and Rhino Park took him. He traveled with it, and he 2002. So that's a story, but is it called the Spaghetti Lioness because it loved her? Spaghetti and a meatballs.
But the thing is, these stories, I mean, that was quite a happy one, but these stories, they tend to be a bit more messed up. There was that tiger recently wandering around Johannesburg, and ultimately...
Hey, please give credit where it's due. It was Walkerville, which is closer to Vereeniging than Joburg. A cat was wandering around almost V-Town. Okay, because that's how we live in V-Town. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, these things always end sadly. There's that story, the story that I
Yeah,
loved, the
it
one
is
that was on
sad.
Oprah about the woman who raised a baby chimpanzee, and she used to have tea parties with him when he was little, and then put him in nappies and stuff. And then one day he became an adult chimpanzee and quite literally ripped her face off.
Fucking hell.
You know, you're just like, why are people keeping wild
Yeah,
animals?
no,
I don't understand it. Don't do it. Don't keep a lion and feed it spaghetti and meatballs. You know, like
Antonio.
it's going to fucking kill you.
Oh, golly. So.
This is the take you only get from like South Africans. Like Americans are like, oh my god, a lion? That's amazing. I'd love a lion in my apartment. You know, like South Africans are like, do not put the fucking lion in your apartment. Anyway.
No. So what do you make of my facts?
I think it's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise it's a really good story and I hope it's true. That's where I'm at with this thing. I hope it's true, right? To the depths of my soul, I hope it's true.
I'm a dick. It's another lie.
Asses.
Here's the lie, and this is going to be right up your alley, of the thing that was making you so cross. It was called a spaghetti lioness, not because it liked spaghetti and meatballs. Oh, no.
Just spaghetti.
No. Spaghetti and Napolitana with, its favorite was when you added ricotta cheese. Spaghetti Napolitana with ricotta cheese is what spaghetti lioness, that was her name, Leah, the lioness, ate for 7 years. Spaghetti Napolitana with ricotta.
How much spaghetti Napolitana do you have to feed a lioness? Like a lot, I would imagine. Like 80 kilos a week, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How much?
They said vegetables as well, but you put a lot of Napolitana. You put veggies in your Napolitana, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you would
Celery, carrots, Sam.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this dude must have just constantly been at the pot, because...
Leo,
That's
bugger
like
off.
yeah.
Leo, go sit down. I'm busy still with the pasta. Leo.
Why you got an omanus? Vaffanculo!
Always I'm cooking. He's a fucking lion eating my food before he's finished. Shame.
Yeah.
So that's the story, and that's the oh my goodness factor is that 7 years, Leah from Napoli ate pasta Napolitana with ricotta.
Horrifying. But you know, like, we can't judge as humans. We can't judge because we eat stuff that's bad for us all the time, right? Like, all the time. I mean, you know. But
before your are you going to go to
yeah.
my vignette?
You want to tell your vignette?
Yeah, was when a lion takes out a antelope. The first thing they do, I think this was my dad who told me. I don't know if this is ungoogleable because my old man told me. So he's like, I think they they rip the abdomen open and they chow the contents of the stomach. So because that's how they get their veggies.
I know cheetahs definitely do it. They go in for the high fat, high density organs first.
Okay.
So they want as many kilojoules as possible. And lions, I think, probably just eat that bit because it's the tastiest and the best for them, and then they eat the skull or whatever last, I guess. So yeah,
save the skull. It's mine. No, it's mine. The cheekbone. It's mine. I said it's mine.
Yeah, it makes sense. So they come with this anacardic acid on the outside, which is kind of like the same sort of stuff that poison ivy has on it, but obviously way worse for you because you're eating it. So you have to roast it to get rid of the anacardic acid. So you must not eat raw cashews. So you mustn't go to a cashew tree and pluck the thing and eat it. Super, super bad.
Sure.
Yeah. And then potatoes.
But like guaranteed to be bad?
Yeah. I mean,
sounds like it almost every time.
No. Have you eat a poison ivy? Like eat poison ivy, right? Like what do you like? What? Oh my word! This is why like Donald Trump was president. Because people ask stupid questions like, oh, wait, if I eat this anacardic acid, is it guaranteed to be bad for me? Yes, it's guaranteed to be bad for you, Ryan. That's the thing. You can't...
Humans got to where they did because there was an oak like me in a cave.
That's right. That's exactly right.
What? This water lily? What?
You know, so Iceland have had a famine once, despite the fact that they had like all these clams and mussels and stuff right on the rocks, because people didn't know. They didn't know you could eat them. And I kind of respect the Icelanders for that. Because who was the fucker who smashed the rock, saw the goo inside, and went,
yummy. No.
All that stuff started with, I dare you to eat that. I dare you.
word.
If you don't eat that, I'm going to give you a wedgie. Ryan ate the mussel. Anyway, my point is
Did
potatoes.
you talk about potatoes? No.
Potatoes, also poisonous. They've got two kinds of things called glycoalkaloids, and both of them are natural toxins. It's solanine and chaconine. And they exist in potatoes just as potatoes are, right? They're in higher concentrations in the skin and particularly the eyes of the potato. And it exists there just at all times. But it doesn't exist in high enough levels to poison us. And people say that the way you can tell a potato is poisonous is if it's going green. But the reason why that is not because of the greenness. The greenness is just chlorophyll, which isn't bad for humans. Humans can eat chlorophyll. We eat it in, all the leaves we eat, all the lettuce, we can eat that. But what that means is that the potato's been in enough sun, it's developed far enough along that there's probably a high level of these two particular poisons in it that will then, give you an upset stomach and potentially send you to hospital. There have actually been cases of people dying from eating toxic potatoes, but it's very rare. It's very rare, and you'd have to eat a lot of it, but it can poison you. And I reckon the reason it can poison you is because it's part of the Solanaceae, I think is how you say it, Solanaceae family of plants, which includes, by the way, tomato and eggplant and belladonna, which is better known as deadly nightshade. So they're all the same kind of family of
tomatoes.
Just belladonna is just one of the most popular poisons in history. To poison people with, yeah.
Oh, my word.
So there you are. Yeah, other foods that we eat that are poisonous and could conceivably make us sick are apricots, cherries, asparagus, rhubarb. We don't give a fuck. We eat whatever, yeah. We don't care.
Rhubarb pie is lovely. You like
exactly,
rhubarb pie?
Exactly, right? Like humans eat on something in the region of 250 different plants and around the world. And of these, many of them are actually poisonous. There's poison in them. So let's not judge the Napolitana eating lion, right? Like too harshly. We can't do that.
But you spoke about your Icelandic famine. You have a Finnish connection, right?
Oh yeah, no, we're the same.
Do you know about?
We're the same, Ryan.
No.
That's racism.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. There was I don't know if it was a famine or if it was the Second World War, under attack from the Germans, and this is according to a book I once read called Eat My Globe, because the guy went around the world tasting the best foods. But the Finnish tradition, which comes from maybe even there, was they retreated into the forest and had to forage, and became a culture of excellent foragers. And so a Sunday lunch in Finland, this is according to the book, is the family first goes out at 10 o'clock after church, whatever, and they go walking in the forest and they pick stuff.
I think this is a kind of a fanciful story.
They come back and then they prepare the salad and the herbs and the stuff.
I do know. So listen, I've got an aunt over there who she does go during blueberry season. She goes out and she just picks all the blueberries and she brings them back and she freezes them. Yeah, wild blueberries, and she freezes them and then she does make pies and things out of them. And I know that a lot of people go and forage mushrooms and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a case of like, there's that Danish Michelin-starred restaurant where they're like, we eat the seaweed and the thrown away Napolitana found in the bin, and we make a new meal out of no. That was being
okay.
There's this whole Michelin. Yeah, there's this whole Michelin-starred restaurant kind of story where people forage the food from around them and they use the things that are in nature around them. So that's very popular, but I don't think the average family does that on a Sunday. I think the average family goes to the supermarket and buys a pizza. I think that's, Finland's not some sort of wild back country.
Fantastic.
As much as the Swedes want people to think they are.
Fantastic Formula One riders for a little country, just by the way. Do you know about that?
No.
Kimi Räikkönen and Mika Häkkinen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But and also rally drivers. Rally drivers, yeah.
Really?
It's the excuse I use for driving so bad. I'm just like, I know what I'm doing. Finish. We drive well.
Okay, sweet. Well, I want to go with my next fact. You spoke about poisonous things to eat, and I want to tell you that I've deemed, what do you call it when you name something official? I have dubbed this animal, this predator, Sif Mouth, because it's got the stiffest mouth of all the carnivore.
Sif for anybody who doesn't live in South Africa means
is it
disgusting.
Means
yeah,
disgusting. Probably derived from syphilis. Sorry, international.
Really? Is that where
listener.
it comes from?
Probably.
That's nice.
It's like a sif, man. I think it comes from syphilis. Please tell us in the comments if your stomach can cope.
I hope it comes from
in South Africa, if we could call someone, that is a sif, does it come from syphilis and being a bit dirty? Or is there another scientific
this is like
Latin word?
You sound like a breakfast DJ who's at a dark channel, After the break, we find out whether the word "sif" is in fact for syphilis. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Is it in fact? You just read the comments. You'll be able to find out. We don't know.
All right, so I've dubbed it sif mouth of all the carnivorous predators because.
Deets wants us to mention that Ryan's found white paper instead of the back of. Can you not afford cereal now this month?
No, when I do it at home, I've got my cardboard boxes. But I was at the office today, and they had white paper.
Nice.
Yes,
so fancy. So you really upgrade.
So this will be a sort of baking tray next time. I'll make something out of it. Joking. Sif mouth, sif mouth of all the predators, because it's got such terrible bacteria in its mouth from leftover kills and carcasses. And of course, in case you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about the
Komodo dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, so its reputation precedes it.
Yeah.
And it does have the call it. That's my fact. The dirtiest mouth of all carnivore animals because of the bacteria. In its mouth from previous kills and its activity of being eating dead things and stuff.
Well, this is a fact that they say, but I also hear that humans have got vastly more bacteria in their mouths than most
Komodo dragons.
No, not necessarily Komodo dragons,
but buddy, thank you.
All right, and I'll have 2 for now. Thanks. Yeah, no, not Komodo dragons. But
humans are
I mean, the fact I heard, and this is probably a gross vet fact, one that they giggle about, is that humans have got more bacteria in their mouths than dogs do in their anuses.
Yeah, that's the vets,
yeah, but it's because we eat so many different kinds of foods, and we get different kinds of foods from different places, and then we're disgusting. Let's be honest, we don't wash our hands. The pandemic taught us that lesson. People don't wash their hands. They kiss each other. They shake hands with each other. They wipe their butthole, and then they don't wash their hands, and then they touch their food.
Oh.
We're pretty gross. In general, as a species.
Touch their willies.
No, Ryan, that's against God. In fact, I have someone to do that for me. I don't go to the toilet and touch my own penis. God would frown upon that. So I have someone I've hired who just stands there on my penis for me. Jeez.
Okay, so
when this podcast gets successful, that lie will become a truth. It's the first thing I'll splash
I'm
out
hiring
on.
someone to.
Yeah. You'll never see us ask you to buy us a coffee. You'll never see us ever ask you to buy us a coffee. You'll see us asking you to buy us a guy who holds our dick when we go to the toilet. The algorithm must hate this podcast. Anyway, yes, so you were saying, so maybe it's just a rumor about the Komodo dragon. I don't know, but I know that it is poisonous. There's a beautiful thing I saw once that showed meat that had been bitten by a Komodo dragon versus meat that had been just left by itself, out to decay. And the meat that was bitten by a Komodo dragon basically just exploded after 2 or 3 days. Yeah, it was just this disgusting mess of bacteria. So it is possible that it's got its own poison as well. I don't know, but I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's true. I'm going to say what you said is true. Well,
I'll give it to you. You're right, but there is indeed a lot of debate about this because for 20 years they believed that the bacteria, because of its eating habits, is what what effect it had, and then they said no. They saw funny, like on a Komodo dragon skull, funny bumps in the lower jaw, and that is clearly venom glands, and then they studied it and they tested it, and it does have all those things that venom does. Makes you bleed out and makes your heart palpitations, and then there's people in the venom world going, whoa, not so fast. Those toxic proteins that it secretes might have different functions, so be careful when you just label something as venomous or not. And then another observer says, actually, the Komodo dragon spends a lot of time licking its lips after it's eaten and wiping its face in the leaves to clean itself. So is the Komodo dragon's mouth really that stiff? Is it from leftover bacteria? Is it from its own venom? Or does it have a more clean mouth? Because they're saying, no, the animals will die. Well, firstly, it takes a few of them will attack a deer or a water buffalo and kill it within like 30 minutes, because they will just kind of surprise attack it. Then they sharp teeth, and it's just a fucking terrible thing to watch. But yeah, that's what happens. They say, oh no, sometimes the animal gets sick afterwards, but that's the water buffalo who's been injured, goes into the dirty water with poo in the water, gets infected, eventually gets sick, and then they'll take it out. So what's killing the animals, and how bad is the Komodo dragon's saliva? It's still up for debate. But yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? It's a bit of a feature. It's a bit of a sif mouth.
I think humans are the sif mouth. Humans do disgusting things with their mouths. You know you do. I'm speaking specifically to you. All right. I mean, that's quite nice, because it's a thing that basically everybody knows that's now under question, right? Yeah, no, I like it. All right. Let me jump to a thing that's kind of similar to that. I mean, in some ways, lobsters are immortal. That is my lobsters cannot die of old age. That's my fact.
Lobsters are immortal. Not the one I had at Cafe Orca.
Yeah, not the ones in the tank in the fish market, eh? Like those guys are going to live for the next 2 or 3 days, tops.
Lobsters are immortal.
Yeah, they can't die of old age. That's what the rumor is about a lobster. I mean, the other rumor about a lobster, and this is Friends' fault, is that they mate for life.
Oh.
Your Friends.
As in the
Friends,
sitcom.
Your Phoebe. Oh, he's my lobster. When in actual fact, like, oh, he's my lobster, actually means the most aggressive male gets to fuck all of the women. Like, there's no,
really?
they don't do
the rest
the pairing.
Chow.
Yeah, they don't do the pairing for life thing. The toughest one, and they fight in a weird way. They fight using every weapon they've got, so they pee in each other's faces. They're disgusting animals. Anyway, but the strongest male gets to mate with all of the females. So, sorry, Phoebe. Does not exist. But yeah, the other big rumor is that they are in fact immortal, that they cannot die from old age.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to say that's a load of bollocks. No, shame. Makes me think of. Did you watch My Octopus Teacher?
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it because I never watch anything that people tell me to watch. I'm very stubborn that way.
Yes.
I haven't seen. What's the other one? Tiger King.
Me neither.
I never saw that. I never watched that.
Me neither. And everyone watched that, hey?
I mean, to me, it sounded like My Octopus Teacher should be called My Octopus Botherer. Get a job. Stop going down there. Leave that thing alone.
Stop going down on that octopus.
Yeah. Leave him alone. He doesn't deserve this. He's smarter than you. Leave him alone. Anyway.
I found it mind-blowing. But anyways. But it only lived for... Not to spoil the plot.
No, you did. You just sixth sensed the ending. Nice one, right?
Have you seen it? You haven't seen it?
No, but everybody knows the ending. I had Sixth Sense ruined for me, just the same as My Octopus Teacher.
Immortal. Just go and watch the movie. It won an Oscar.
I mean, it is immortal now, right? It's in an Oscar-winning movie.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the fact about the lobster being immortal is a load of bollocks. It's a lie.
It is, in fact, a lie. As I said, it's very similar to your Komodo dragon thing. It's where people actually believe a thing, that it's immortal. And they believe it with good reason. So there is some science behind why they thought it might not die of old age. Because the rumor comes from a thing called telomerase. And I don't know whether you've heard of the telomerase, right? What telomerase is effectively...
It's not a ray like a creature in the sea. Like a stingray.
No. What telomerase is kind of like the aglet on the end of a shoelace.
Oh.
Yeah. But instead on a chromosome.
Oh.
So what it does is
thing.
it's that little thing that stops the strands of the chromosome from coming unraveled, just like
This
like
could
the
be
little
the thing that makes us live for
just
a
like the
long
little
time.
just like the little plasticky aglet on the end of the shoelace stops the shoelace from unraveling. The telomerase is the thing on the end of the chromosome that stops it from unraveling. And what happens is that every time these things duplicate, so every time they replicate themselves, they don't actually replicate the whole thing. It can't replicate the whole thing. It replicates the whole thing minus a tiny little sliver, just a tiny little slice off the end. And what those telomerase do, those little aglets do, is they get a little bit shorter every single time that it replicates. And then when the cell has finally finished dividing, once it's divided 40 to 70 times in humans, it's different for different animals, but 40 to 70 times in humans, the telomerases run out, and a chromosome starts unraveling. The bits join onto other chromosomes. It causes mutations. It causes mess up. Stuff starts dividing wrong. Everything starts happening, and then your body falls apart, right? But what happens in a lobster's body is the lobster can produce its own telomerase as a substance in its own body. So the lobster's body repairs the telomerase that isn't copied on a reproduction.
Jeepers.
So a lot of people started saying, oh, well, then for all intents and purposes, now the lobster should be able to live forever. Barring accident or they're meeting each other or some sort of sickness or something. This thing should be capable of effectively living forever because its telomerase doesn't shorten. So that now we get this rumor running rampant that they are immortal. But unfortunately, the truth is that there's actually now they've discovered many factors that go into aging that aren't just the cell's ability to replicate itself.
Okay.
So it's stuff that it's not particularly well understood, but DNA does damage over time, and that's got nothing to do with telomere length. So there's a lot of stuff. Genetic mutations do just randomly happen, despite the telomere being there. So. Yeah, we don't really know.
It makes me think of that much quoted Bible verse that goes, it's very dramatic. Death, where is your sting? Well, there it is. It's in that telomerase.
Yeah. I mean, that's like there was a time when people now, like a lot of scientists, believe that aging is an illness and that they will cure aging at some stage. But it's quite clear that aging is a lot more complex than we initially thought it was, because when they discovered the whole telomere thing, they were like, this is it. This is aging. This is what causes it. But now it's become obvious that there's a lot more to aging that they're going to have to unravel.
Look at him, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Warren Robertson. That's why he gets the medium bucks.
Yeah, no buck, which is no bucks. The bit between no bucks as the smallest amount and the no bucks is the largest amount. There's still no bucks right in the middle. But yeah, that's the thing, is that so actually, ultimately, lobsters can die because of all these other factors that go into aging, despite the fact that they are effectively protected from this one aspect.
Wow.
But yeah, nonetheless, they still got much less chance of aging themselves into oblivion than we do, and they should be able to live a lot longer than we do. So when you eat one, feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. And at least they can put that telomerase stuff into the Avroy Schlein night cream for anti-aging around the eyes. And then you need telomerase by Avroy Schlein. Just apply some under the eyes.
Bizarrely, that's not one of the catchwords they use. They're always like alpha lipids and who knows, these words of things that we don't know. Buy this cream. It's beta, gamma, blah, 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 and you just sit there like a moron going, that works.
What a graphic design that is. Look at it. It was shitty. Now it's glossy.
Yeah. And never once do they say, with telomerase adding functionality. Never once.
What can I help you with, man? I'm at the Clinique counter. Well, it's shitty here, but if I'll put some of that, it'll go glossy. As you can see, it's just like in the ad. Shitty. Look at that. Can you see the gloss?
I often wonder, do you think if they actually invented an anti-aging cream, you could put on too much? Put on enough, you've got a baby face on your human adult body. You're like, what have I done? Oh, I'm a mess. Look at me, I've got a little baby face.
Like a Benjamin Button nightmare.
A baby face with adult teeth on a fully grown man's body. I've made a monstrosity of myself.
What the? I actually put this off. This is totally a spam call, and I actually turned it off.
I did enjoy your ringtone.
Yeah, it's
very nice.
Classic music. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
You just You just type in classic, and I've turned it right down, and it still rings.
No, they don't
Bloody
care.
Huawei.
They don't care. These telemarketers, yes, those oaks don't care. They'll phone you and ask you how you're doing without saying who they are.
And you think it's a mate. I wonder who this is. Oh, do you know who's talking? It's me from
Vodacom. I want to sell you a phone. You realize you're speaking to me on a phone. Anyway.
But you said death, right? And that made me think of my next fact.
Nice. Professional.
And we spoke about stiff mouth and... I'm going to move this. I'm gonna swear. Sorry, Deet.
Because they don't give up. You can block the number.
That's very funny. Hey, Deets. How's it?
It says Deets Podcast.
Okay. Sorry. It's got a tongue lashing from the producer. 1 sec. There is a way. You go settings. I did put on please. I was going to make the ringtone
I think
softer.
it's nice he's finally been able to buy himself a phone. I was really getting tired of him coming and just shouting outside my window when he needed us to do a podcast.
Check ringtone's all the way down now. I think I've cracked it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good,
Nailed it.
Well done.
So we were talking about death and stiff mouths.
Yes.
And that made me think of my next fact. And that is that, was it over Christmas in Cape Town or January when there was that terrible seal attack?
Terrible seal attack. A baby seal tried to bite 2 human beings. Terrible seal attack. Where do you live? Where do you, like, in that time, terrible. America has had.
But the lady filming it was going, "Woo! That was terrible."
But in that time, America's had 38 deadly school shootings. And you're talking the vicious, violent, terrible baby seal attack where it seemed to chase 2 separate people until a man threw it out to sea.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, wee.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that stuff normally happens because of rabies, doesn't it? Is that what you're going to talk about?
No, not necessarily.
Because that's a stiff mouth attack.
It is a stiff mouth, shame. It's a sad disease, that, hey? But my fact is, so that was terrible, but a seal has never ever killed a human. That is my fact. Not a lovely fact.
I don't think it's true, though. I think if I was them, I'd be angry because we've been clubbing them for years. They still do clubbing up on the Namibian. Yeah,
do they?
Yeah. on the Namibian border. I think if any species deserves to kill us in vast numbers, it's seals. No, there's probably a lot more, right? Like, there's probably like almost every animal deserves to kill us in vast numbers, except mosquitoes. Those sons of bitches have been giving us their fair share for years.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
They are quite terrible. Do they still bloody do that in Namibia? And I went, Carte Blanche did it, and people lost their minds. Eh?
Yeah, no, Carte Blanche did it only after People Magazine did it. I'll have you know.
Because he used to work for People.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Shout out People Magazine that no longer exists. But yeah, so as far as I know, they still do it. So I think definitely a seal has killed a person. Definitely. A seal is the dog of the sea. It is. Dogs have killed people. Seals have killed people. The only difference is nobody breeds seals for pit fighting, right? Like, that's the only difference.
There was the Ricky podcast with his mate. It was like, I mean, seals, what you need them for? He says, no, it's a knock-on effect. If they take away the seals, and no, but it's just like a dog and a fish.
Is this Carl Pilkington?
Yeah.
Are you doing that's an amazing Carl Pilkington impersonation. I knew who you were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
I loved that little sketch. I watched it on TikTok where they made it into a cartoon.
So he says it's like a dog and a fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ricky Gervais lost his mind with laughter, and then the cartoons got him running around going, I knew you were going to say dog and a fish. I knew it. And he was not. It's like dog and a fish. It's very cute. But yeah.
But
seals.
It does taste more like a dog than a fish. Don't ask me how I know.
Apparently they were clubbing them because they were culling them because there was too many.
No.
But also using it for like dog food. Literally. How
do you feed a dog of the sea to another dog?
Well, you mix it.
It's like us eating mermaid.
No, but it gets...
Human of the sea. We can't eat human of the sea.
Well, it's like you mix it with it and you stick it in the cubes.
You know what I always think about with mermaids? Is do you get mermaids who like the other way around? Who the top half is fish and the bottom half is human legs? Because, like, I started thinking about it because I was thinking about sailors, right? So sailors were like, oh, this half fish, half woman is very attractive. I want to have sex with it.
Ah.
Yeah, right.
Ooh,
but the
scales.
bottom half is
Ow.
fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have. They've got a cloaca. like a bird. It's not the same.
Oh, you talk about the sexy
I'm saying
hole.
they don't have lady parts, Ryan.
But
You
there's a
can't-
hole.
you
That's
can't-
where the...
So listen, this is the failure when people say that they're
golly.
attracted to Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, she's got the.
She's got the
needs
clams,
she
eh?
needs
She's got the
clamshells,
clamshells, yeah.
But what's down there?
Cloaca.
It's not human compatible.
She's got
Fish
a cloaca.
she's got fish compatible parts.
Do they lay eggs, the mermaids?
Yes,
Or they give
they
birth
would have
to live
to.
young?
No, I mean there are some fish that give birth to
No,
live young.
mermaids.
Yeah, there are some fish that give birth to live young, so it's possible mermaids give birth to live young. It's possible, but it's unlikely. They look much more. I mean, why would they have? But then why would they have breasts if they didn't give birth to live young? They would have
So
to
they
give birth to live young.
Yeah, because they suckle.
The science of a mermaid is a very confusing thing, Ryan. And what's most confusing about it is why a sailor would look at that and want to have sex with it. That is. They must have been very, very lonely on those ships. Very
Apparently,
lonely.
they recruited them for places like... Apparently...
Who, mermaids?
No.
Oh, sailors.
Sailors.
Okay.
No. Apparently, the shit when it comes to Pacific Islands.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, that's a beautiful island. Oh, isn't that a lovely island? No. You ain't seen
Oh, so
nothing
the place to go. Yeah.
until you've seen Tahiti.
Okay.
And the whole allure was all them chicks on Tahiti to get them dirty sailors.
Oh, because
know,
they were.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The nubile, they'll swim up to your boat and they just throw themselves at you. That was in pamphlets and shit.
I mean, I think that's still how Thailand gets people to go.
You just swim as the plane
you
arrives.
just come there, you land.
Bangkok, it's
like,
just the fucking...
It's
that's the
full of old
airport
British
door.
men because they keep getting told if they just land in Thailand, it's just the women will throw themselves at you.
Oh my.
It's clearly the marketing hasn't changed much for that part of the world.
But we were talking about the fact of seals killing people. And you said, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Fucking
I
people.
reckon for sure. Somebody has died the shameful death of being the only person ever killed by a seal. Probably a president of the United States, someone famous. Please let it be someone famous.
Oh, you did that weird freakish thing again where you telltale hearted it. You know, you spoke, and you basically spat out the actual truth of it. So you're right. You're right. And it was one person.
Oh, good.
One person's been killed. Shame.
One
Bless
person that we
her.
know about.
2003 it was a British research scientist. She was a geologist and something else. What was that other thing she was good at? Oceanographer. Yes. She was snorkeling in the Antarctic.
Now, listen,
You
those
really shouldn't.
Those oceanographers are just begging for it, to be honest. They're just out there just waiting to get eaten by something in the ocean.
And of course, do you know what seal it was? Do you know what it was? Which
Lion seal.
Yeah, well, leopard seal.
Leopard seal, yeah.
Yeah. So, the rule of thumb, the rule of anything, any digit, the rule is you go and take your boat, your research little. You're going to do some snorkeling to see the glacial impact on the fauna and flora. Blah. That's what they were doing. The first thing you check, any leopard seals?
Yeah, because leopard seals
No
are badass.
leopard seals. They'll
They're
attack.
huge,
They're aggressive.
They're attacking, yeah.
Yeah, and so there were none. And so off she went. And then this thing approached her very quickly. That whoa, thing in the water. And it was pretty
What was her
devastating.
I think it's
I don't think I wrote it
It's
down.
important. Look it up, Ryan.
Tanya,
I think it's important. Look it up.
Kirsty.
Tanya Kirsty. Good.
Kirsty.
Kirsty Tanya.
She's British.
Kirsty Tanya, rest
British
in power.
lady. Yeah,
Rest in power, Kirsty Tanya.
yeah. No, and let me
No,
tell
Ryan,
you.
you do need to know the name of this
I
woman.
thought I wrote it
because
down.
because like it's an achievement along the lines of summiting Everest, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
She's the first person to ever do a thing, and humans didn't brag about
Kirsty
it.
Brown.
Kirsty Brown. There you go.
Oh, shame. You want to see a pic?
No, I don't want to see a pic.
You want to see a picture of a leopard seal? Okay, no.
You're just gonna show me a picture of your ball, and then that thing's not
Ooh,
gonna
look at
know.
that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't want to see that leopard seal. Bloody hairy. So, look, this thing, I did some research. I also watched the YouTube video. But this, it seemed like quite a horrible attack. Well, It just grabbed her by the leg and took her right down. And then lots of blood dripping because the leopard seal's got some seriously serrated teeth. It's a scary thing. And then this is what it does. This is its modus operandi. Then just before she reaches the surface, drags you down again. More blood. More, oh my God, that's fucking terrible. And eventually the boat came and they chased it away and they got her out and they tried to resuscitate her and she never made it. So it didn't
so this is
consume
it.
This
is the first person we know who died of a seal attack. This is the other thing. It's like so Edmund Hillary was the first person to climb to the top of Mount Everest. But he may not have been. There may have been people who did it before. Yeah. You know, people who lived in the area perhaps. Yeah, but he's just the first one we know did it. Yeah. But anyway, it's
a leopard seals will kill you. There was when about a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, Komiki had this leopard seal, and there's a leopard seal on Komiki rocks or beach. I've never been to Komiki. It's one of the few places in Cape Town I haven't been to. But
it was probably just a hippie, a local hippie, lying out there on the rocks.
And they warned people, don't approach the leopard seal.
No, you mustn't approach the Komiki hippies. It's a warning. Don't approach the Komiki hippies. I was on the beach in Komiki, not Komiki, but next door. Like I was on that long beach, Noordhoek to Komiki. So I was on Noordhoek there with my son the other day, and there was a Noordhoek hippie there, and but he was naked and he was meditating.
Really?
Yeah, but he wasn't hurting anybody.
Naked like nothing.
Yeah, like nothing. He was naked. He was meditating, but he might as well have been wearing clothes because this man had the largest pubic thatch I've ever seen on a human being. It was like he had he had a bush.
Wow.
You know those cartoons where people where they use like the bushes to hide their nudity. It's like he was doing that. So while he was naked and communing with nature, he was still also being deeply respectful of all of us by not showing us his penis.
Imagine he was chased by the leopard seal. That would have been not funny.
Definitely,
a little bit funny.
Definitely funny. I'm going to take us right back to octopuses because why not? Let's hit it up.
Nice.
Yeah. So here's my one.
Because Komiki and octopus teacher was there. Plus we mentioned the octopus.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Octopuses are among my favorite animals.
You've got to see that docu.
Yeah, I mean his acting. The octopus is acting, and he didn't let on that he was dying. Yeah, he's like is it Chadwick from the Black Panther movies?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him.
So he had cancer. I think it was him.
He
had cancer at the time when he was filming the thing. And
oh my!
He didn't let on. He just did the job, and that's the same as the octopus. He didn't let on that he was dying. He just did the job. Just got out there and won an Oscar. My fact is that octopuses are smart enough to orchestrate escapes from their tanks in aquariums.
My word.
Yeah.
That's a weird fact.
Yeah, to like work out how to escape.
Yes.
Yesterday.
I wonder, shite. It's like, yeah, that could be true. Flippin' hell.
You just got all the 1980s slang coming out now.
Yes. Yeah, man, that sounds like such a fascinating fact. And it's like, it could be true. But why would you lie about that? That's a weird lie. No, I'm going to say no. I think it's true. Octopuses maybe are pretty good.
The reason I might be telling a lie is because it's another one of those internet rumors that they're smart enough to escape and orchestrate. And in fact, there's a lot of video of people at aquariums saying things like, "Oh, well, I heard before I got here, an octopus escaped from the aquarium." Look, so that's why I'm saying this. It's not a random fact that I'm just like making up this one liner. And then,
I mean, do they cope out of water for how long and all that stuff? And where would they escape to and all that? And shame.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of.
But I'm still saying it's true that they can escape.
There's a lot of anecdotal stories. Like a lot of urban legendy type stories about them escaping, at least. Okay. So you're saying it's true they can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to take it a little bit back from that, right? Because octopuses have been observed using tools.
Good
so
Lord.
they are a mollusk. So like they like slugs and snails and mussels and clams. They just don't have any kind of hard shell.
Shucks.
So the evolutionarily, intelligence is how they've avoided death, being all soft and squishy and delightfully edible, without having a kind of a hard shell. But yeah, so they've been observed using tools. They use coconut shells to hide in, and sometimes even to travel in. To give themselves protection, kind of like a shield. And they have passed all kinds of maze tests. Much like rats. So you put a treat, and then they have to kind of work their way.
Of course, there was the World Cup one that made fantastic predictions.
He knew what was going on in the football. He was psychic Paul the octopus, right? Was his name? Yeah. No, they've got excellent. They've been shown to have long and short-term memory, so they remember things over time. They can recognize the difference between human beings. They did a study where one human being was mean to the octopus and another one fed it, and it actually would show absolute aggression to the person who was mean to it and hide when that person came into the room, and then would be nice to the person who fed it. So there's a lot of kind of stuff we've got that shows that they are at least smart enough, and that they are, there's enough compelling stuff to believe that they can remember over time, that they're capable of putting thoughts together, that they can think for themselves a little bit. And of course, also aquarium people will tell you straight up that each different octopus has got a different personality. So they'll behave differently regardless of the species. So the evidence for these, for an octopus being smart, exists in large numbers, which is probably why there've been a lot of urban legend stories of octopuses, say, finding a way from their tank into the tank next door, unscrewing the cover on the filter and then ducking through the filter, because so an octopus can fit through any hole its beak can fit through. So you get these stories of these literally 200-kilogram octopuses that fit through something the size of an old one-rand coin.
Flippin' hell.
Yeah.
But that's a story.
No, they can do it. So they can fit through a hole. Any hole that their beak can fit through, they can fit their whole body through. So that's possible. But then there's these stories of them unscrewing covers on filters and then going into the next thing and eating the mussels and then coming back and screwing the kind of cover on. And there's any number. If you look online, there's any number of aquarium workers telling stories. Oh yeah. No, before I got here, there was this octopus. He used to break into the thing next door and he used to eat fish and blah blah. And then there are stories of octopuses escaping from their tanks, of planning an escaping from their tanks and vanishing.
My word.
Just kind of disappearing. But these have all been urban legendy type stories until recently. Video footage of an octopus in New Zealand called Inky escaping actually emerged.
Really?
And what Inky did was they left the lid just slightly ajar, and Inky took his chance. He jumped out. What they did was they came in the next morning, Inky wasn't in his tank, and suction marks on the floor gave him away. And he'd gone straight from his tank to a drain that led straight out to the sea. Oh, wow. So he'd gone down the drain and out to the ocean. And he hadn't deviated. He hadn't tried to hide his path. He hadn't done anything kind of he knew exactly where he was going.
Good grief, man.
So it's possible that he'd watched people behaving and what they'd done with the drain and where they'd flushed things, and he knew that was his escape route, and he'd gone straight there. He climbed out. He didn't dither around in the foyer. He didn't go back and forth. He climbed out and he went straight there and went straight down the drain. So yeah, so there is in fact evidence of octopuses being smart enough to plot an escape, to work out where they need to be going and to get themselves out of it. And there's a fantastic video online again of an octopus escaping from a boat, a huge octopus through a tiny little hole, where he squeezes himself through the hole, his whole body, and the people who are filming it know that he's doing it. That I say, well, watch this is going to be amazing. But yeah, it's possible.
You know what that movie's going to be called? Silence of the Clams.
I thought My Octopus Breacher.
Just like we could, eh? It's so sharp, eh?
Anyway, good.
That's lekker. You won't believe it. This has been such a fun episode, and now we're on multiple choice time.
I know. Multiple choice already.
Shame, man.
Yeah.
So it's me to go first with multiple choice, and it's been such a lovely episode. I just love these animals. And do you know panda oaks? You know
Oaks.
When you catch them, the oaks don't want to. They
I thought
don't.
you were talking about like Japanese fetishists. Like, imagine these like panda guys who dress up like panda. They definitely are. Don't search panda
Furry
guys
things.
on the
There's
internet.
a furry thing, isn't there?
I'm sure there is.
A furry
no,
fetish.
but I'm thinking quite specifically of panda guys. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
No, like a boy panda. When you put him in captivity, he doesn't want to put pipe so much. He doesn't want to.
Again, I feel like you need a translation for the international. He doesn't want to make
copulate.
love.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to copulate
it's
or fornicate or.
So they have a real hard time trying to get the pandas to breed in captivity, and so they're winning slowly.
Yeah,
but
apparently
it's
the Chinese
hard.
have sort of worked it out.
Pardon the pun, it's hard, man. And which of these things haven't they tried? So we got ourselves panda perfume,
Okay.
panda pornography, frozen panda semen. So they just called it panda spunk, hey? And
No, hang on. You mean they froze the sperm and they put it inside the female panda rather than they threw it at him. Look at this! This is what we want from you, you fuck. Like, I think you have to be quite explicit.
It's terrible. I can't even tell that joke. It's more like
Yeah.
Cool. No,
Anyway, so because
and
the females are only on heat for like 1 day a year. Right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's what it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and number 4 would be panda Viagra. So one of these they haven't is not a thing. Panda perfume, panda pornography, frozen panda semen.
So I think they would try the frozen panda semen.
Viagra.
It makes sense, right? You're gonna take the semen from the male. You're gonna freeze it until the woman's on her 1 day a year, and then you're gonna try and use that to inject in her, right?
Okay.
You're gonna try and artificially inseminate her. That's what I think would happen, right?
All right.
Oh, you see, you're trying to avoid the voice thing. Did he do the
I
voice?
didn't do it, Michelle.
Did he do the voice?
She's going to rewind now. Now she's rewinding.
Okay. Then 2.
Let's start at question 1 just to confuse Michelle. While she's rewinding. It's like, oh, I've gone back too far. No, I've gone. Okay, never mind. Yes, so, okay, that's panda semen.
So it's that. Then panda perfume. So pheromones, right? That sort of makes sense to try and get them to both get on heat at the same time. Perhaps. I can believe in that. It's those 2, and then you said Viagra, and the other one
Panda
was
Viagra, panda pornography.
I think panda pornography is a thing. I think it's panda Viagra is not the thing. Because what's the point of turning the guy on when the girl is not ready? You see, I think that's the. So I'm going to say panda Viagra. That's the missing. That's the thing. It's not.
So I had a lot of fun with this question, and I wanted to make sure there was a clear answer. So there are definitely 3 things which are a thing, and then the other isn't a thing. But I wanted to make sure it definitely wasn't a thing, and I couldn't find it anywhere being a thing.
Okay.
So I'll do what you usually do when you reveal the answer.
Oh yeah, do it.
So they're having incredibly success with the old frozen panda semen. Artificially, they'll freeze it, they'll extract it. I don't know how, I don't want to be there. And then they'll freeze it with nitric, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe that's how they make the panda porn. They film the extraction process. Somebody dressed like a panda jerks him off. I regret saying that.
And then yeah, they'll do the old that. So that works. They're having good success for that. So quite right. You said the one you said wasn't a thing.
So perfume, I think, is a thing.
Panda pornography is a thing. To try and get them getting into it, they'll show video footage of
I thought it might be.
pandas having a go. Yeah,
of the dude dressed like a panda.
Well, it's more actual wildlife pandas
I see.
copulating. That is a thing. Then this is how we reveal whether you were right or wrong. They have absolutely given the old male panda a bit of the old
Viagra.
Panda Viagra.
So
it's got a name.
The pheromones thing.
No, so I thought, it's 1 day a year. That's quite right. They've got 3 days to do it, and I thought, maybe extract some spray that the lady sent, because we
Yeah.
will do it in the wild. Urine is a thing.
Yeah.
Scenting is a thing. Both. In the male as well. He'll piss everywhere to show that it's his. He's fucking, yeah. Much like Oaks in like Krugersdorp when they drink beer in the parking lot. It's like, my black here. It's cool. And but so I thought maybe that they'll use that for the man to get him going. Someone, come on, it's
that
party.
makes sense to me, right? Like,
But no,
nothing.
there's no. I couldn't find anything about that. So the others, yes. Panda perfume, no. But Panda Viagra
Is a thing.
So you got it wrong.
All right, fine. Rub it in. Better than rubbing it out.
Rub in that panda scent.
Yeah. All right.
Rub in that frozen panda semen. Rub that in.
My multiple choices about a creature that's kind of become a bit of a fascination worldwide. It's called a tardigrade. Have you heard of a tardigrade?
Mm-mm.
Right. So they're kind of like an invertebrate. They're related to arthropods, insects and crustaceans and things. Most of them are less than a millimeter in size. But basically, they've become incredibly popular because they're found to be insanely resilient. Like
Wow.
they're capable of surviving incredible situations, things that would destroy basically life on Earth. There was, scientists have tried to imagine scenarios that could wipe out all of the tardigrades on Earth. And essentially, they decided that it would take the end of the sun. They were like even if a massive asteroid smashed into the Earth, the chances are tardigrades might survive it. So anyway, these are the
like, who farted? Who farted? Wasn't me. Wasn't me either. It was an asteroid. Always blaming it on the asteroid. Who farted? Shame.
good. But these are the things. I'm saying, which of these things is the only one that will kill a tardigrade in under a day?
Oh my.
Yeah, being frozen to minus 200 degrees centigrade.
Good bloody grief, man.
Being entirely dehydrated, dried out. Having all liquid dried out of it.
Fucking hell.
Being cast out into the vacuum of space. Being exposed to pressures at the bottom of the ocean. Being submerged in hot water.
That is terrible. How hot is that water? Very hot.
Let's say boiling water.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah. Which of these things would?
Good bloody good. Those are all such terrible things, hey?
Yeah.
The bottom of the ocean, outer space,
being frozen to minus 200
minus
degrees.
200, boiling. Fuck's sakes. And only one of them
will kill one in under a day. Yeah. Only one of them.
Ha ha ha! Shut. Okay, maybe the frozen's out because the frozen will preserve it, even though it's minus 200. Dehydration. Can it survive dehydration for a day? Okay, maybe. Space, I think that's fine. The ocean pressure versus the boiling water. Oh, shame.
So the vacuum of space obviously comes with
shame.
no oxygen, as well as, sub-zero temperatures. It's a. Also, it's the vacuum, right? So there's no pressure on the inside pushing, because you know how humans will basically everything will collapse out eventually. Because you need the stuff to hold you together. Yeah.
There's forces.
So there's a lot of forces in the vacuum of space that.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the boiling. I want to say the hot water. Yeah, but the rest they can find a way of coping. Even the bottom of the ocean, I think they're just so small the pressure doesn't have an effect. And that's probably not a thing in physics, but
yeah, no, your maths is awful. Your maths and your reasoning is absolutely so basically what I'm saying is with the bottom of the ocean pressure and the space pressure is also two opposites, right?
Yes,
so one is zero pressure,
yeah,
so none, and the other one is
No
massive,
force.
massive pressure.
Yeah, that's
Cruising
why I'm
together,
thinking those
And
two
then-
facts cancel
and then-
each other out.
Well, and then you've got the two temperatures, right? So you got the minus 200, the 100 degrees
Yeah,
one,
and that's
and then
very
you've got
good.
the dehydration
Yeah,
one.
no,
So
it's
it's these two.
amazing.
Yeah, of these five, only one of them will kill them.
Fucking, which way would you like to die, Ryan? Oh, jeez, man, come on, bro.
I think it's only traitors who got boiled to death in the Middle Ages in England. Yeah, I think it's only traitors.
I think our little homnipod, what's his name? Pteropod.
tardigrade.
Tardigrade. I think he doesn't like being in the boiling water. That'll kill him in a day. That's
In
my
under a
answer.
day, yeah.
In under a day.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, you're absolutely right.
Oh, I nailed it.
You're right.
See my maths, eh?
But you're right to the degree that it's not boiling water that he can't be in. It's water of anything over 37.8 degrees he can't be in.
Oh, my
So what they're saying is actually the worst thing for a tardigrade,
water.
global warming.
Oh.
So a species that would survive an asteroid smashing into the Earth and destroying absolutely everything, sending us into catastrophic ice ages, would basically survive floating out into space, almost indefinitely. Can't be put into slightly hotter water than it's used to.
Shit.
So yeah, like this bizarre study. It was done at the University of Copenhagen, and only recently, and they found that just slightly increasing the water that the tardigrades live in kills them.
For the freezing test, it's like, okay, let's put them outside.
No, so they've taken them to space. They reckon tardigrades are still alive on the moon. there was I think it was a Chinese mission took them to the moon and then left them there, and they believe that they're probably still alive out there. Yeah, they believe that they're.
And the American scientists, where are the tardigrades that you took them in?
Yeah, they've probably.
You mean you left life on the moon?
Humans are gonna get there 200 years from now. They're gonna be like, aha, we're taking back our moon, and they're gonna be like, not so fast.
That's a beautiful.
This is our moon now.
Tardigrade, man.
Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, what a tragic thing that this absolutely incredible, almost invincible life form is looking like it might get wiped out by humans, just kind of driving too much.
Well, it's a bit like the Mel Gibson movie Signs. These terrible aliens that are attacking, but what's their weakness?
Right.
Murder them with a baseball bat.
No, their weakness is water, right? In science. Murder them with a baseball bat. Bizarrely, E.T. had the same weakness. If you murder him with a baseball bat,
they're gonna kill us. They're gonna shoot us. They're gonna do things to our crops. But if you murder them with a baseball bat,
I think most things, if you murder it with a baseball bat, even a leopard seal, you murder it with a baseball bat, done. End of days. This thing.
I'm so sorry we had to end it on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
But a tardigrade, judging by the fact that it can survive the pressure from the bottom of the ocean, probably murder it with a baseball bat, it'd be all right. Brush it off. Your warm bath, on the other hand, kill it in under an hour. Yeah.
So the conclusion is, take regular baths, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if you don't want tardigrade all over you. Ugh. Little bastards are creepy. Anyway, there you go.
That's lovely. What a lovely, fun. Thank you, Dietz, for that weird nature.
Yeah, and thank you.
Thank you for
you
your
specifically,
weird
you
yes.
freaky. We know you paused it to watch the 2 Girls 1 Cup video.
Thank you, subscriber number 125.
Yeah. Particular thank you to you. You aren't here yet, but this week we believe.
yeah. Cheers. Good night. Goodbye. Good morning. Whatever time it is. Cheerio.
Good night.